Hello, I'm Stephen Monkey Mason, and welcome to Fast Forward Reviews.
Hello and welcome to Fast Forward Reviews, episode 2 of season 4. Did I get that right? I think I did.
We're off to a really good start.
Like, super good start. Now, when I was thinking about this movie and how I was going to do it, I was thinking, where can I film that? What's different? Because it's not snowing outside, but it's forecast to snow tomorrow.
The forecast was right. It's snowing. I know you can't see, but I can't see, but I can tell it's snowing.
Well, the forecast was right. It's absolutely freezing out here. I was down early for this stupid video. It's really cold.
Even this has got nothing to do with snows. This is about snakes. And I thought, well, what can I do for snakes? And then I remembered from the ceiling above. Dun dun dun! Kai? From the old room? Unfortunately, she's been in the loft. And unfortunately, is suffering a bit. Oh, is that better? That too. This is the fast forward review for Anaconda. It's not even Anaconda, is it? It's Python. Well, yeah, this is the fast forward review for Python. The year 2000, but made in 99, but yeah, came out in 2000. Age rating for this movie is a 15. Big ass 15 there. Here's a 15. It's on for 96 minutes. A little bit too long, this movie, but we'll get there. Directed by Rod McDonald. The story was by Philip Roth. And the screenplay is by Chris Neal. You know, story written by, I normally just say written by, but when there's a definitive line between story and screenplay, I'm making the effort. 2 different takes, 2 different fonts, you know, the effort. Budget for this movie? No idea. It's the second movie in a row. Ski Patrol poster still in the background in there. That needs changing. That's the outtake. But no, couldn't find a budget for that. Couldn't find a budget for this. Not even Carl could help us. Not even the Brick could help us. I tried. Budget unknown. Tagline for the movies are 60 feet of terror. It's like, sorry, venom spit. This year's Lake Placid. Like, no, don't. It's a crocodile or a snake. It should be this year's Anaconda, if anything. And the one that's used on the box, created by nature, redesigned or reimagined, remingled with, definitely fingered by man. Yeah, we'll get to that when I have a look at the outtakes. Not the outtakes, the artwork. Yeah, they're the taglines anyway. Starring Frayne Rossinoff. That's my one and only attempt at Frayne Rossinoff. That's him. Wil Wheaton. That's Wil Wheaton from Stand By Me. Funny story about Wil Wheaton in the fun facts. Shane Welton. That's the guy from Employee of the Month. Awesome movie. It's also the small kid from Batman Returns to the newspapers. Yeah, thought I'd at least give him a bit of justice in this movie. Jennifer McCarthy's in it. And for some reason at the end gets a very special Jennifer McCarthy before, you know, poor Closer Kenny doesn't get one. But Jennifer McCarthy's in it. Casper Van Dien's in this, or Casper Van Dien, or whatever you want to call him. Johnny Rico from Starship Troopers in this. He gets his name on top of the box. Again, fun facts are coming, and I'm going to talk about artwork. He gets his name right across the box, and you think, With William Zabka, is that right? Zabka. I can't say it, and you're never going to catch that fly. That's him from Karate Kid. And where's For the Love of Movies when I need them for a Freddy Krueger reference? The one and only Robert Englund. I used to call him England. Mr. Freddy Krueger himself is in this. So, here's a little bit about the movie. In the aftermath of Anaconda, that was a big breakout hit. Creature features were back in the era of CGI when they were like, right, we can't get that shark on the boat yet, but fast forward 30 years, we can now do anything. Fast forward another 10 years after that, you can absolutely do anything. And fast forward 10 years after that, fuck knows what's real and not real. Jesus Christ, it's like, what? You know, the CGI, it's like, if something's real, it's really there. It's really there. Like now, is there a door there? No. You know, looks like there's a door there, but there's not a door there. Off that run, anyway. But not only in the era of CGI and stuff like that, the rise of DVD. VHS was about to go out of fashion. I still love VHS. But the market for DVD was massive. Getting a film out on DVD quicker than bypassing the cinemas and all that, that's where they were at. So when you release a film like that, called Python, Casper Van Dien on there, Robert Englund, and created by nature, redesigned by man, people are going to go, oh look, Python! Like I did. This is why I'm talking about Python. Like that is why. Walked in there, Python. But it doesn't really give you a backstory. There's a plane, and then there's a box, and they're like, oh, what's in the box? And guess what? They have a look in the box, and next thing you know, the snake can fucking fly like Wesley Snipes and Drop Zone. Whee! Down into the California desert. At this point, Robert Englund's like, ooh, fuck, my snake's escaped. Casper Van Dien, Jesus Christ, sex pest and all, in his creepy ass voice, Him and his guys are going,
We need to get this back.
yeah, let's just not go there with his accent in this. Meanwhile, the local tour rag, the runaway, the guy who had everything sponsorship through it all the way, comes back to town to get the girl he loves. The girl he's love is going out with a deputy shepherd.
Idiot. It's definitely a sheriff, not a shepherd. Here's one job, Stephen.
The girl he's love is going out with a deputy shepherd who just happens to be Johnny Lawrence. This film borrows a little bit from Karate Kid here and there. Just a little bit. And they all get together to go, right, we're going to go camping, so they invite Will Wheaton. You can kind of see the person who wrote this was in love with 80s movies. But they all get together. So they get together to go camping. Robert England's still like, ooh fuck, where's my snake? Casper Van Dien's like, ooh, let's get the snake. They all come together in the small town of California. Meanwhile, Kenny the Closer and Jenny McCarthy are trying to buy a house, and the snake gets to town and it's taking no prisoners. At the same time this was made, King Cobra was also made. But they opted to go practical effects and sort of get Mr. Miyagi in it. Yeah, Mr. Miyagi pops up in this and he's running around trying to save the day. Yeah, there was definitely a lot of love for snakes in Karate Kid around the early 2000s. So that's the brief idea of the movie. Snake comes to town and sort of everyone's like, there's a snake, and people don't know there's a snake, there's a romance, there's a, you know what I mean? It goes around and round in these circles. So here's some fun facts about the movie. I loved this movie back in the day, and like going back in the day, I was like hanging with friends, I'd be like, let's watch this movie, and everyone's like, oh no man, let's watch football.
Anything but football. I hate football. I would want to watch stuff like Jack Frost. We can kill a snowman rather than football and werewolves.
Yep. So when I heard that there was a Python 2, I was like, ooh, I want to see Python 2. Now, I was actually in London, very early 2000s, and I remember being with Cooper and going into this movie memorabilia shop, and they had loads of big film posters, movie maniac, stuff like that, all kinds of weird stuff. And downstairs they had loads of DVDs, and at the back they had American imports, and then I seen new release, Python 2. I was like, Python 2, and I was like, it's an import, so it's not going to work over here, and it cost a fortune. I was like, pfft. But there was a Python 2, and for years, nothing. Seriously, for years, nothing. Like, what happened to Python 2? We had got Boa versus Python. We had another film called New Alcatraz that's related to this. And then all of a sudden, we had snakes. Now, doesn't snakes look like Python's box? So when I seen this in the shop, I was like, that looks like Python, but it's not Python. So I got it home, and you never guess what. When Snake starts, take away, no, there's no California in this. When Snake starts, first off, when it first started, two actors walked to the screen, and I just happened to have worked with both of them. So I went, I know you guys. Next thing you know, Python 2 for a split second, then it goes snakes across the screen. I was like, that just said Python 2, rewind that. And it does, it is. It's Python 2, and I was like, you fucking kidding me? Just like, I know films get renamed over countries and stuff like that, but for have Python 2 there for a split second, then snakes just added, I was like, it's Python 2. And then I watched it, and my friends Carla and Bomba, you know, turn up, and I was like, uh-oh. Now this isn't the review for Python 2, but what was funny about it, two things were actually funny about it. One, Johnny Lawrence turns back up, you know, and I was like, oh, he's back, and I was like, hang on a minute, he's not playing the same character, but he is playing the same character, and he's like, oh, he's angry at the snakes. I'm also in the middle of watching Twin Peaks. I finished the first season after never seen it, and watching the new limited edition series that's on for like ever. And one of the actors from Twin Peaks turned up, Bobby, and I was just like, there you go. And it's all set in Bulgaria, so I was like, oh, and I was like, oh. Anyway, off Python 2. The other fun fact about Python 2 is where I bought it from. Now, cheap plug, if you check out Welcome to Edinburgh, when I go to Edinburgh to see my old housemate Michael Galley, hang out with him and go on a massive bender around Edinburgh, only to wake up the next day with a massive hangover. On the way up to Edinburgh, I got on the wrong train. Now, I got on the wrong train because the train was 5 minutes late, and 5 minutes early was the next train, so I got on the wrong train, and I was sitting on the train. The guy was like, it's going to be £85 if you want to stay in the train. I was like, fuck right off, there's no one on the train. This is a couple of years ago, and it was just like, I had to get off the train in Newcastle and back on the next train that was delayed around, so who's on the right and who's the wrong way. Again, check out the film. You can see me on the wrong train. Oh, a great start. So on that note, the next morning, I got up and Gally was nice enough to walk me to the train station. I can get from England all the way to New Zealand by myself. Getting from a train station in Edinburgh, from Gally's house with a hangover. Mission Impossible 7 right there in the making. So anyway, we went downstairs and guess what? goes in this little buddy bar. There's a fucking cafe on the side, little deli. It's really popular. People are coming in shouting orders, and then you happen to wait, and they just so happen to have a selection of DVDs. And I'm like, oh, look at these. Galley's like, for fuck's sake. And that's where I picked Python up from. Right there, that is the edition I had in my hand. I went, whoop, I'll have that with my bacon butty, please. Popped it in my bag, walked to the train station, big Edinburgh train station, said goodbye to Gally, standing there looking at the board, right? Looking at the fucking board like I'm looking at you, and I just so happened to go. Will Wheaton was standing right behind us. I'm like, now, as much as I dropped a clanger and a moment of life, that nod to the head like, are you alright? Like, I know who you are. He knew that, I knew who he was, and he was dead canny. Him and his wife were trying to work out what train I was getting on, so I wasn't the only one confused by the massive train board. I should have had of. Now he does appear in Welcome to Scotland, Welcome to Edinburgh video does appear, because I'm like, well, Wheaton's behind us. How mint would it have been if I just went, hey, would you mind signing Python? You know what I mean? He's going to think, fuck right off. So yeah, that was a moment missed really, but yeah, you couldn't write that. Right, the other fun fact about this movie, this artwork's terrible. For the fact on the back, I don't know if you can I come really close and I'll kind of look at the font going wrong there. Look at this bottom line here. And Richard Smith. Richard and then Smith, but all the fonts going over, what's going on? And plus about selling it, Caspar Van Dien and Robert Englund are the with and characters. Caspar Van Dien doesn't even make it all the way through the fucking movie. He's like, oh, Snake, shit. Do you know what I mean? And that's one of my things. So this is what I think about the movie. Kicking off with a new metal soundtrack after the snake escapes from the fucking aeroplane. It's that sign of the times. New metal music, flying text, mad rush on a mountain bike. That's the start of the movie. The film really slows down and sort of sets up characters. You've got the friendship circle. You've got the sex pestache circle. You've got Freddy Krueger going, oh, I've lost my snake. And it sets up surrounds, especially the sheriffs. The sheriffs are all like that. So there's a lot of characters introduced and it does it well. So shit goes down in the small town and they're all like, no one really knows that there's a problem till they're like at least 3/4 of the way through the movie, to be honest with you. The film kind of struggles with a few certain things. Again, it's more like got active at the certain times, you can see that. But it doesn't help that playing homage to Karate Kid. Yeah, there's a fight scene. And it's like homage to Karate Kid when he's just like, I'm going to fight you. And they're fighting on the zebra crossing. And then they end up fighting in the school playground. And they both end up going down a slide like that. Do you know what I mean? And it's not really karate. It's more like, hang on a minute. I've seen this somewhere before. Now, as much as the story breaks down, this movie is essentially, what about the anaconda? It's not an anaconda. It's a fucking python. But what about the python? Well, is that a leak in the ceiling? So, okay, back on the movie. Just discovered a bit of a leak on the ceiling there. But, right, so what Silver Bullet and Jaws did was, if you don't have it, less is more. This film really suffers with like, let's put this snake in there and just there's a snake everywhere and you think, too much snake. Its first appearance is its little tail, and yes, it's a practical tail and someone just like wiggling a tail around, but for this 60-foot python to be hiding in a garage behind a box, and Kenny the Closer's just like, oh, you know, and then fucking Jennifer Coffey's head gets decapitated. That didn't look too bad. The snake then goes on a rampage of Dust the Cast. So after he's killed Kenny the Closer, he's like in the woods, and Caspar Van Dien thinks he's in Starship Troopers again, as they pay homage to Predator by blowing the absolute fuck out of a hill. There's 5 bazooka shots in this, they're like, pew, 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 pew. And like they haven't even got like binocular effects on. They haven't even checked their binocular effects to go, it's there. They just blow the fuck out this mountain. So yeah, one by one they all end up together. But this is when the film gets messy. They all like have their moments, their little fights, their little homage. Will Wheaton's rocking his little pinky purple hair. And like it gets to, everyone ends up in this bunker. And this is where the film could be, I would say, 16 minutes shorter. Because it's like, they're dead, they're not dead, they're dead, they're dead, they're not dead. They'll kill the snake, they're not kill the snake. The whole cliche of, no, the bum's not working, I must go and do a Bruce Willis. You know, pays homage to fucking Armageddon. And you think, that film should have ended there. They're all happy, you know, they're all done. But no. Comes around for another go of it. And then has the happy ending. It almost has the Cobra Kai end and the Karate Kid was like slapped together. Like, there we go. Don't worry about snakes. It's going to be a completely different ball game by then. And yeah, it was, again, looking back at it, I mean, today I've just done a podcast for it, so I've seen this film 3 times in the last 72 hours, and I remember it. I think it's made well. They've just relied too much on fucking, literally too much Did anyone watch Jurassic Park? Because the reactions are like, it's there, where? Oh, it's over there. Like, no, too much CGI. Too much. I mean, going back to King Cobra, like the King Cobra has a real fucking snake head rocking around, and you can see it, you can tell it's really there. It's like, that is dangerous. It's not like it's not there, like fake doors and shit like that. Again with Silver Bullet, like, oh, we've got no fucking werewolf for the forest, right? Just put loads of smoke and just get down in the smoke and bash his head in. Well, I'm gonna till the end, but don't worry, it's fine. So off that rant, out of 5, Python is a 2. 2 out of 5 movie for me personally, and it's only really got that 2. But what this could do with doing is being bought by Netflix, slapped on Netflix, add William Zabka, I want to say, is that his name? Zabka, slap his face on the box because he's in the film a lot more than Casper Van Dien. Do you know what I mean? Slap Robert Englund on there as well. Will Wheaton, add Will Wheaton. Do you know Will Wheaton's kept himself going through Big Bang? Put that on there, Python, bang. People will watch it, of course it will. People laugh at it, of course it will. But this film needs paying homage to because this opened the door. It opened the door for the Sharknadoes, stupid films straight to the asylum. You know, like literally, this was made for DVD rental. This did what it did. It did enough to warrant getting a sequel, and essentially 2 sequels. Whatever new Alcatraz and Boa vs. Python wants to be. But is it a big ass snake film? Yeah. Was it better than Anaconda? Technically no. Special effects were better than Anaconda. Practical effects weren't. King Cobra got lost in the shuffle. But when it comes to snake films, it's right up there. You can't really diss it. So for now, I'll see you in the outtakes. I've been Stephen Monkey Mason. This has been Fast Forward Reviews. Episode 2 of Season 4. We're a bit more outlandish, a bit more baffling, and a bit more what the fuck. But you know what? It's better than fuck all. See you in the outtakes. Hello, in the outtakes, the one and only outtakes. Right, Ski Patrol is down. So that was the original plan when building the quad frame to replace it, and because I had that much nostalgia of Ski Patrol, it stayed there. And when I made the idea of making Fast Forward Reviews, I said, right, and stay there. Now in this room there's already a trespass photo. So there's going to be another one. So Trespass should hopefully be my next one, because I love that movie. And it was that or Striking Distance or The Lost Boys, and I was like, oh, I didn't know. But big question is, does it go? Don't need that. I'll turn the light off, do it. Hang on. One continuous take. One continuous take. Does it glow? Looks like it glows. I mean, Striking Distance is going to glare. That'll be the next one up. But yeah, another test of it glows by shutting the door. Out of the light. So yeah, it's going to glow for now. And there he is. Right on cue, my friend, Will Be Subaru. Every video at the moment he's just gotta have a cameo. But for now, I've been seeing Monkey Mason. This has been the Fast Forward Review for Python, and Trespass will hopefully be my next one. And you might see a bit of karate down the line. Thanks for watching, goodbye for now.
And now, the end is here.
Tim, there it goes. It's almost like an added effect in the outtakes. My mate